So if I was to start day trading again from scratch in 2026, I mean start with nothing. This is exactly how I do it. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. I mean, you just spawned in, you've no XP, you've no mats, you want to make some extra cash on the side. It's your first time hearing about day trading and you want to escape the matrix. Okay, so there are three key things you're going to need when starting your day trading journey. Okay, so the first and most important thing you're going to need is a charting tool. And the number one charting tool at the minute globally is TradingView. The beauty of TradingView, it has access to all markets. So any coins, stocks or tickers you want to look up, it's all inside one app. So when you download TradingView on your laptop or your phone, this is the main screen you will see. So all we're interested in here is screeners, and we can see the different markets. So you have your stocks, your ETF, your bonds, your cryptos, etc. So for me, I mostly trade crypto, so I'm going to click on the crypto coin section, and we can see a full list from top to bottom here of your biggest to your smallest of all the crypto coins in the market. So obviously starting with your Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, XRP, the list goes on. Okay, so all we got to do now is open up whatever chart we want to look at. So for example here, Bitcoin, just press full chart. So here we are, a fresh Bitcoin chart opened inside TradingView. And now from here we can see on the left you have different indicators, trend lines, tools, time frames, lots of stuff you can start messing around with, but we'll save that for a whole other video. Now allow me to let you in on TradingView's biggest secret. Come closer. Bitch! No, seriously, I'm going to give you guys a little tip. Don't waste your money buying any of the trading plans on TradingView. It gets more and more expensive every year and it's never worth it. I'm going to show you guys how to become profitable and make money in trading without spending a single penny on stupid plans. Okay, so that is TradingView. That is everything you need to know, as simple as that, and we'll get into the indicators and all the rest in the next video. Okay, so now we have somewhere to look at our charts and mark out key levels. We're going to need somewhere to trade, so a trading exchange, and that's number 2. Okay, so we've all heard of the big names like Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, etc. Those guys are old news. We're going to need something smaller. Okay, the reason I'm saying that is because those traditional exchanges charge extremely high fees. Now we need something young, something fresh, like a Yamin Yamal or a Anthony Edwards. So of the smaller fish, we got plenty of options. We have Biofin, Bitmart, Lbank, KCEX, Mexi, Bitunex, Solinu. The list goes on and on. So what I will do for you guys, girls, and whatever else you identify as, I'll give away $100 on a spot into my premium signals group to one person who signs up with one of the exchanges below using my link. I'll drop all the links in the description below and the reason why that exchange may suit you. So this is what your exchange will look like. This is just a quick example. I'm using Bitunex here in this example. Now for every exchange they have a very similar UI or user interface, so they'll all look pretty much the same. Obviously on your phone it'll look a small bit different, but I'll pop up here an example of what it looks like on your phone too. So again, on your phone it looks slightly different. The subsections we see here at the top on your phone will be at the bottom of the screen, but essentially very much the same thing. So the first section we have here is buy crypto. This is where you deposit money directly from your bank account, or if you're already in crypto, you deposit from other exchanges. Secondly, we have markets. Pretty self-explanatory if you want to check the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, etc. Okay, so futures and spot. This is two completely different types of investing, and let me explain to you why. So spot trading is essentially where you buy a crypto token with no leverage, no added risk, no chance you lose everything overnight. The most important thing about spot investing is timing. So you buy the bottom and sell the top. As simple as that. You don't need to be trading every day, watching the charts. It's that simple. So this is the least risky way to get involved in crypto, and this is where everybody should start. So if you work a 9 to 5 or you just generally couldn't give a shit about crypto, you just want to make a few pounds on the side when the market's good, you wait until Bitcoin gets down to 30 or 40k, you buy yourself whatever it is, half a Bitcoin, quarter of a Bitcoin, and you ride the wave back up to 150k. That's a nice 300-400% return on your investment for doing nothing. So if you are one of those people, I'm going to run through quickly how you'd buy yourself some Bitcoin when the time is right. As I said, Bitcoin will come down to 30 to 40,000 in the coming months. So this is where I will personally be loading up some spot. So all we do is click spot here. You have your tickers here on which one you'd like to buy. We're going to stick with Bitcoin. Now you have two options when you want to buy yourself some Bitcoin when the time is right. You have a limit order that you can set or a market order that you can place. So the difference is essentially a market order will go through instantly. So you're buying Bitcoin at the current price. So you'd buy your Bitcoin at $80,035, which I wouldn't advise one bit. Now, if you weren't looking at the chart, you're wearing holidays, whatever, you're faking your missus, you just set a limit order. So all you got to do is type in the ideal price you'd like to buy Bitcoin at. So let's say $30,000, and we're setting a limit order for a quantity of 1 Bitcoin. and then we just press buy, and that order will sit there for the next 6 months until Bitcoin comes down to that price, and when it does, it will automatically fill your order. So that brings me on to futures trading. Now this is where I thrive. This is where I want you to thrive. This is where you can make the most money. But don't get me wrong, the risks are real. This is where lives are lost. No, seriously, with futures trading you can lose everything overnight. Thousands to millions of dollars liquidated, gone within an instant. One candle can ruin your whole life. Trust me, it's happened to me before. When you hear stories about people losing everything overnight, it's not at the casino, it's here in the futures market. Again, I'm going to run through this for you as if you're a complete beginner. Now, some of you may know how to use exchanges and have traded before, but for those of you who don't, this is essentially what you're looking at. On the right hand side here we can see our order panel. Now we just ran through the difference between a limit order and a market order. Essentially again, a limit order goes in at a particular price you want. So let's say 81,000 you'd like to place a long or a short, or a market order, which I'd always recommend for instant execution because speed is king here when you're trading futures. Execution and speed is going to be your best friend. So instead of just having a big green buy button or a big red sell button down here, we have two options. So the first option is open long and the second option is open short. Now the difference between spot trading and futures trading is you don't physically own the crypto token. You can't withdraw it to a different wallet. All you're doing is you're basically hedging a bet that in the future, if you press long, if you enter your trade here now at $80,060, you're just betting that the price is going to go up from whatever your entry price is. And the exact same for short. So if you want to open a short and you want the price to go down, you enter here now at $80,020, and you're just betting that the price is going to go down from $80,020. Now I need you to listen close here, because the biggest mistake of my life back in 2020 at the start of my trading journey was not having this one setting configured right. And this cost me everything. I mean 30 grand gone overnight. Okay, so the setting I'm talking about is right here. It's just to the left of where you set your leverage, and it says cross. And trust me, I was crossed. When I woke up and everything was gone, I thought I woke up in a different server. I thought I was lagging. I fucking re-downloaded the app, everything, logged out, logged in, but it was all gone. It was too late. And it's just because this one setting. Now you have two options here. And the main difference is, and firstly, what I'd always advise, always, no matter what, is have this set to isolated, always. And exchanges will always have this naturally set to cross because they're looking for ways for you to blow your account and give them thousands of dollars. So, always have this set to isolated. And the difference is, if you have an account with $10,000 and you have a trade on with $1,000, and say you don't set your stop loss because you're tired, or you're smoking, or you're gone out the house, or whatever the fuck it is. The difference is, if you have a trade on with $1,000 and you've encountered $10,000, the maximum you can lose when it's set to isolated is your $1,000. Now, if this bitch is set to cross, the maximum you can lose is your whole account essentially. So if you've only a trade with $1,000 and you have an account with $10,000, it can eat into your whole account. I mean gone, everything. So bottom line is to always have this setting set to isolated, unless you want to lose everything overnight. So on the right hand side here, this is where you can control your leverage. Now the maximum leverage back in 2020 on any exchange was 100x leverage, and even that sounds stupid. This is a trick exchanges use so that you blow your account faster and then you just give them all your money. So now we can see they're offering 200x leverage, and on some exchanges they're offering 500x leverage. Now this is just stupid. In my last video I covered leverage and I said that more leverage just equals more risk, and personally I don't use anything more than a 30x leverage, and that's if I'm extremely confident on a trade, and obviously if I'm not using my whole account on that one trade. Okay, so now that we've the two main settings adjusted, let's run through quickly how you place a trade order. So again, make sure you have this setting set to isolated. You can choose your desired leverage here. For me, 20 to 30x is the maximum I'd use on Bitcoin. For all coins, it's a 10x. Make sure you have this setting set to market for the fastest execution. You enter the quantity here, so 1 Bitcoin, for example. Now, the last key thing here is when you're placing a trade order, for example, always have your stop loss set. So we can see you have 3 different options here. So you have your profit and loss in dollar amount, your return on investment, or your percentage change. The easiest thing to do for your stop loss here is just set to ROI. And for me, for every trade, the maximum stop loss I'm willing to take is a 10% loss. If we were to place a trade with one Bitcoin long or short, we'd have a 10% loss and we would lose just under $400 on this trade. Okay, so quick recap. The 3 most important settings you must have configured for any futures trade. Number 1 is your margin. Make sure this is always set to isolated margin. This prevents you from losing everything overnight. Number 2 is your order type. Make sure this is always set to a market order. This allows for the fastest trade execution. And number 3 is your stop loss. Make sure for whatever trade you take, you always have a stop loss set. Okay, so I think I covered both topics pretty well there. The main difference being with spot trading, it's your more casual investing. It's all about timing, buying low and selling high. Whereas futures trading requires a lot more hard work, a lot more learning strategy, spending hours behind the computer. You're just trading the intraday moves, you're in and out. But of course, you can make a lot more money and a stable income with futures trading. Okay, so now that we got a charting tool, a place we can look at the charts, and an exchange, a place where we can trade, the last piece of the puzzle is money. Okay, so I will be dropping a GoFundMe in the comments. No, seriously, you don't need huge capital when you start trading. If you do start trading with $5,000 or $10,000, I guarantee you're going to lose it all, because you'll start seeing money flowing in, you'll get greedy, and as fast as you run it up, you'll run it back down. Now, a few $100s might not sound like much to some of you. You'll probably spend that out on the weekend in the pub on buying cocaine. But for those of you who are born in India or the back arse of North Korea, that is a lot of money. But all I'll say to you is the game's a game. All jokes aside, a small amount of money is probably better off when you're starting your trading journey. Because if you do start your journey with a lot of money, as I said, and I've seen it with a lot of people personally, they just end up blowing everything and losing it all within a week. My personal advice is just take it slow at the start while you familiarize yourself with everything, the platforms, how to find trades, strategies, etc. Because there are dozens of strategies that work for people. For example, in my private group, everyone seems to have a different strategy. I hope everyone learned something from today's video, especially you guys that are brand new to crypto. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe down below. There'll be new videos coming weekly from now on. And don't forget about that $100 giveaway for someone who signs up with one of the links in the description below.